Okay, welcome to the March 16th, Thursday chat. We have an unusual number of announcements today, so I'm asking everybody to be as brief and concise as they can. We'll start with Marilyn Stone.
Hey, everybody. Since all the movie groups are filled, I have started a new one. I'm sorry, something's in my throat. If you want to join, please call me at 42209. I'll just leave a note in my cubby. But I do have one. There are a number of people who have already joined, and this is ongoing. I hope you'll come.
Okay, thank you. Betty Shapiro.
Thanks, Jerry. Hi, everyone. I'm sure you're all aware of the fact that we are in the middle of a collection for potato latke mix for the Kosher Food Bank for Passover. But I have some important updates to share with you. First of all, we had a collection box by the entrance to Nosh for some time now, but it's no longer there. It's around the corner in the space that used to be for doing jigsaw puzzles. So if you can't find it, and they may have to move it yet again. So if when you go down there to deliver your latke mix and you can't find the box, just ask anybody at Nosh and they'll tell you where it is that day. Now, if you haven't purchased anything yet to donate into that box, you have three options. One is to buy it at Nosh. Two is to go to your regular grocery store and buy it there. Or three, you can order it online. This has been a very successful idea in the past. You can order it online and have it sent to me instead of to you. I'll do the schlepping. You don't have to. But if you do that, please let me know that you're doing it so that I will know to expect it and I can let you know when it comes. And one other thing that I wanted to remind you of is the fact that we only collect that's Newbridge calling, sorry folks. We only collect food items for the family pantry the family table, and that's the potato latke mix. We're one of well over 100 organizations that collect for that organization. And our assignment is the potato latke mix. No other, we do not accept donations of any other food. We do, however, have a relationship with the Dedham Food Pantry and have had one for some time now. Our relationship has gotten to the point where they accept cash donations from us in the month of November. That way they have a far better control of their inventory and they have far better purchasing power. So the only grocery, I just want to repeat, the only grocery item we accept here at the present time is potato latke mix. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sylvia Schatz.
I have two thank yous. One goes to Prue and her crew, which is Toby Levine, Bob Mesnick, Feldman, Mayor Fine. I think I got everyone for this wonderful issue of The Bridge. It's a beautiful production and it's unusually good. Number two, a thank you to Fernando for changing a rather dingy, disappointing march from the garage to the elevator, which was a necessary trip, into a corridor which is very pleasant. It's been painted, it's been changed. So thank you to those two. That's it, Jerry.
Thanks. Betsy Weissel.
I just want to take a brief minute to remind people about our Neighbor to Neighbor Good Samaritan program. If you need a wheelchair, you need a walker, a commode, you just need to get in touch with me. I believe it's my poster is down by the mailbox and you can pull it off. I'll also put my name in the chat. And likewise, if you have something that you could loan that's perhaps sitting in your storage unit that you're not using at the moment and would be willing to loan to a neighbor, if you would please let me know. I've gotten several calls recently and some of the things I just don't have. So if you have them sitting there, a bed rail, crutches, particularly a wheelchair, a commode, or a shower seat that you're not using and would be willing to loan for a short period of time. These are short periods. You're not giving them away. You're just loaning them for a few weeks and then you get them
What
back.
about the things that you roll that are not, the metal things that you walk with?
The walkers, we have a lot of walkers, but certainly if you have one, just let me know. I'll put my name and the contact information in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, Robert Orkin.
Thanks, Jerry. I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow at 1:30 in Great Meadow Hall, we will have a conversation about what we learned from Yossi Klein Halevi yesterday. So it'll be an informal conversation and everyone is welcome. That's 1:30 tomorrow in Great Meadow Hall.
Thank you. And Bonnie Rosenberg.
Thanks so much, Jerry, and hi, everybody. Sandy and I are reminding you that tonight is a magical night for the Newbridge Scholarship Raffle Fund. The only place to be is Great Meadow Hall at 7:15. We will have our final drawing. Tonight's the Denture Rent drawing and some other fabulous prizes, some more Red Sox tickets, dinner with Matt Hollingshead, Steve Caldwell's beer tasting. There will be great entertainment flying in from New York City. There will be a scrumptious dessert buffet. Bring a neighbor and come and help to build our sacred community. See you there.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bonnie. David Rader.
Okay, hi, everybody. Couple things today. First and foremost, I'm going to let you know what I know about Channel 918. As you know, you got a message this morning saying it was not working. We had our AV company come in today, and we're still not able to get it to work right now. So what that means is we're trying very hard to be able to broadcast the program tonight. The Zoom is not being broadcast right now. That's why I sent out a message. After this call, we're going to do everything we can to try to make it work for tonight. Either way, I'll send out a phone call and an email letting you know whether or not the program tonight will be broadcast live on Channel 918. A couple other announcements I have to do with some upcoming programs at the end of March. So the first one is March 27th, and that's at 7:30 p.m. We will once again welcome the candidates running for the Dedham town election, which is Saturday, April 8th. There are many contested races this year, and over half of the candidates have indicated they plan to come. Then a couple days later, on Thursday, March 30th, we'll gather at 2 o'clock for a Red Sox opening day party in Great Meadow Hall. Fresh popcorn, homemade pretzels, and soft drinks will be served, in addition to an abundance of optimism. This was a suggestion made from the 5,000 building residents when I attended their recent floor meeting. So I'm expecting all of them to be in attendance. Thank you very much.
Rabbi Judy Ehrlich. Rabbi Judy. Oh. Anybody?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to announce that the Newbridge Interfaith Planning Committee that has met 3 times has come up with the first program that is the 3 Abrahamic traditions, Passover, Easter, and Ramadan. And it will take place on Tuesday, March 28th at 2 o'clock in the synagogue. There'll be a short video followed by presentations by Rabbi Bob Orkin and Sharon Gouveia. And there will be a follow-up sometime during that month with a Muslim speaker who will talk about the traditions of Ramadan. There will be hopefully several more programs coming down the pike that look at a wide range of different faith traditions and opportunities for discussion. So just wanted to let you know about that.
Thank you. Josh Ferraro.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Jerry. I had planned to perform a song I had written, but at your request of brevity, Jerry, I'm going to skip that and go right into my announcements today. The reason for my request for time today is to give an update on some of the projects at Third Plus, and primarily the ones that we had designated as the phase one, which were mostly shorter term, what we would consider the low-hanging fruit projects. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can see what some of those phase one projects were. And as I share my screen, I'll go through the status of some of those. So just bear with me one moment, please. All right. Hopefully you can now see my screen.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you. So under the phase one, we had display appearances, remove promo displays, remove general signs, something here on signage and communication, which is currently in process, signage for complimentary beer and wine, analyze current scheduling, staffing levels, and staffing pars. So that was most of what was under phase one. So some completed projects include analyze current scheduling, staffing levels, and staffing pars. This was implemented and started to make sure we have ample staff in all our dining outlets to best serve the community effectively. Some examples of us defining our staffing levels and pars, making sure that they're accurate and that our schedules are accurate, is we've been able to eliminate an additional buffet night in Central Main Dining Room, leaving just Friday nights as a buffet. And we have started to open up dining to guests of residents for dinner in Nosh on a limited basis. So making sure that we're effectively staffed and that the schedules make sense allow us to expand currently and, of course, more in the future. Some of the other items are in reference to Nosh aesthetics, and these are currently in the works, and they include the way we set up our buffets, the salad bar setup, communication and signage, and basically additional opportunities to enhance the overall aesthetics to improve the dining experience in Nosh. So we are underway. Some of it we are waiting on some supplies, and as of right now, we have a target date of mid-April where you will see some significant improvements to the aesthetics in Nosh. And I do want to mention in additional, it was not part of the phase one project, and there are a couple of projects that were in different phases that we're already working on, and the community room is a great example. You know, that was not part of the phase one, but the community room has been opened. It has allowed us to alleviate challenges around reservations, as well as offer options for residents to dine with others, those that may not always have a dining partner. There has been some ask about the buffet menu in the community room, that it does not go out with the weekly menu, and that is by design. The menu is created and finalized daily and will be available the day of, beginning in the morning at the Centro host stand and outside the Centro menu display, for those of you that are curious. While it does mimic mostly the main menu in the central dining room, there are times where substitutions have to be made, whether because of inventory or certain items that don't translate from a regular dining menu into a buffet. And so that is why we do not always have those menus prepared a week in advance. We finalize them on a more ad hoc basis. So it'll be available each morning the day of for you to review and decide if you want to join us in the community room. And also another project is the nutritional information access. And while not complete, this was part of phase 3 or phase 4. And we are happy to report that the initial nutritional information booklets have been compiled and are available in the restaurants and also in the library as well. Right now, they are centered around the always on menus. And we are very close to updating those in the next couple of weeks with more of the menu options from the 6-week rotation. So we will communicate when those books have been expanded upon. But right now, if you want to know the nutritional information about the items on the always available menus, they're available in both restaurants and in the library. And in the foodie this week, a couple of residents have asked about the possibility of bulk ordering for Passover. As in the past, that will be made available. The order forms and the instructions will be included in this Friday's foodie. And I think that's all I had, Jerry. Thank you very much.
There's a question in the chat as to where the community room is.
The community room in Copper Beach of Centro Dining Room, which is a self-serve buffet available for walk-ins. There are no reservations and seats about 35 residents on a first come, first served basis.
Thank you. Sin Giuseppe has a question.
For those of us that wouldn't necessarily go down to Centro on a daily basis, could there be a way to have the daily buffet menu posted somehow? Can we, search for it, or do we call Centro and ask them to read it?
Well, you certainly can call. When you say posted, are you talking electronically?
Yeah.
Like through Constant Contact?
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion, Sid. I hadn't given that consideration. Let me see what that might look like and how that would go out daily. And it's something I will certainly consider. And I think it could certainly help. So I think it's a great suggestion. I'll consider it and I'll report back next week.
Is Constant Contact, I don't know, is that just the phone, or would
No,
that be
Constant
like an
Contact is
email?
the way that you get the newsletter and the programming updates, the one that goes out
Okay.
through the email.
Okay.
Is that what you
thank
meant, Sid? Yes. Yep. Thank you. Great suggestion.
Okay,
And I'll
so-
add to that a little bit. Whatever, we do right now is an interim move. We are working on a communication platform, and the platform's called Touchtown. And Touchtown will be your single go-to source for all information. The challenge is we have to get it set up, and there's a lot of information to put in there. And we're just starting in the very beginning of that process, and that wraps into this whole food process as well. So everything will be located eventually, and I mean everything, in Touchtown, and it should be very simple to use.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt.
Toby Levine. You have to unmute. We can't hear you, Toby.
Oh, let me unmute.
Now go ahead.
I want to praise Sid for raising the question of a menu online for the community room, because I was there last night and I thought I was going to be able to get liver and onions, which was on the main menu, and it wasn't in the buffet, and I was a little disappointed. My other question is whether we can have guests at the Seders.
Thank you, Toby, and sorry about the confusion and disappointment that the buffet menu, while mimicking some of the items, does not always match exactly. And I understand and own that it wasn't communicated properly, and I'm sorry for that. I'm going to put a note in the foodie tomorrow that it does not always match the full menu that is available in the dining room. So I'm sorry for that confusion. And yes, guests are allowed at the first and second Seders for Passover in Great Meadow Hall and in Centro. Again, there were some information that went out in the foodie about the limitations, but basically tables of up to 8 people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Toby.
Okay, we move on. Tara Fleming Caruso.
Hello, everyone. Next Tuesday, we're having another Cafe Connect program. These programs are designed for people living with short-term memory loss. Care partners are welcome as well. This session is going to be run by the interns from our Memory Assisted Living program under the tutelage of Leticia. So please join us. Light refreshments will be offered. 1:30 to 2:30 Great Meadow Hall. Next Friday on the 24th, our palliative care expert, Emily Palmer, will be giving a lecture via Zoom on more of the details and nitty gritty about what palliative care actually is. So please join us. Both programs, you would call the hotline at 49218. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Christina Foley.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to remind everyone that on April 1st, we are going to be having our Guess Who program in Great Meadow Hall. So we are asking residents, if you've not already done so, to submit photos of themselves between the ages of 15 and 30. You can drop the picture off at the concierge desk with Joe or myself. You can also email it to me, and then the program will be looking back at the pictures and trying to see who is who. Thanks.
Thank you. So that wraps up the announcements. We're ready for you, Matt.
Okay, hello, everyone. Good to see you all on Zoom. Jerry, we're up to 105. That's
And
a lot.
if you count the couples, you know, we're really up there with a record number.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I was that interesting. This is great. It's great for the ego. I'm going to start out just talking about the normal COVID stuff. You saw in my letter last week, and I announced last week that I wasn't going to be updating in the weekly Friday letter anymore, unless it was something outside of the norm. And as we learn to live with COVID, you know, we're adjusting, and so to what the norm actually is. And so the norm seems to be 1 or 2 cases, and that has generally been what it has been all along. Right now, there's no difference. We have 1 case here in independent living. And hopefully it stays that way. There were a few exposures. Those exposures have been contacted. And again, it's just a great reminder for our community that even though the rest of the world has decided that this thing is over and we're moving on, we still have to be diligent and responsible for ourselves and make sure that we take care of ourselves. So we have 1 case right now. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen so we can see what's happening on the state level. And here we are, we're down 35% from last week. So again, these numbers keep diving and it's terrific. So there's basically 4 cases per 100,000 individuals. And you can see the hospitalizations are way down here as well, down to 9 cases per 100,000, or a decline of 21%. I'm gonna scroll up here so you can see the actual numbers, because they round when you look at that number. So it's 4.2 cases per 100,000. But the part I want to draw everybody's attention to is the 14-day trend. You can see that that is precipitously declining, which is excellent. Got to make sure Newbridge follows that trend as well. And if we go north here, you can see we were just there, let's see. Suffolk County is up a little bit, 5 per 100,000, but that trend line still continues to decline. Middlesex 5.6. We're going to go way west, 6.3, and then come south a little bit, 4.3 cases per 100,000. So overall, those COVID numbers are looking good, and so we're going to keep it up. We have a big event tonight. I anticipate a lot of people in the space together. If you have a cold, you've been around somebody with a cold, you've been out in a seriously public place, consider wearing a mask, please. These large events, that's where our risk lies. So let's be smart about how we handle this, but have a great time. And so I just want to open it up. I see there is a question in the chat. Let's see. Okay, we're good. Any questions around COVID?
I see none.
Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, I have some exciting news, at least some very personally exciting news. HSL is in the process of bringing online a few different sites. So for example, I think a lot of you know that Center Communities of Brookline is expanding and they're building on their 108 Center Street parcel. Right now, there's a little blue house there. And so they're hoping to break ground on that soon. The Dorchester affordable housing property is in construction right now. Simon C. Fireman, which is the Randolph affordable community, that's also under expansion right now. So there's all this great opportunity for us here at HSL. And there's recognition that, you know, we need some more leadership bench strength with all these properties coming online. And so HSL, particularly the senior living sector, has decided to create an associate executive director role that will come work here at Newbridge and will train under me. So I'm going to get some help, which is going to be fantastic. And the other exciting part of this is that individual, some of you may know, and that person is Jessica Coleman. Jessica has been the director of nursing at assisted living. I think she did the role for 5 years, and now she does a lot of project management work. And she's also the nurse that interacts with a lot of you when you meet with the nurse. When Tara puts that program out there, meet with the nurse, and that nurse happens to be Jess. But Jess has great experience. She led a very large clinical team. She helped a lot in daily operations. She's got great financial acumen, and she's been working in senior living her whole career. So I'm excited to have Jess train under me. You'll see her joining me in meetings and throughout the community and hopefully doing dinner rounds. And so her start date is April 3rd. And so we'll see Jess and we'll welcome her to the community. And I just wanted to share that with you all. All right. Now, let's talk about meal credits. It's that time again. This is always a good one. So finance is requesting that if you want to make adjustments to your meal credits, that you reach out to them by March 29th. And you reach out to them either by emailing statement inquiries at hsl.harvard.edu, and this is in my letter that'll come out tomorrow, or by phone, which is 781-234-9275. And again, that'll also be in my letter. And just a reminder, if you want to increase your meal credits by 100 credits, it's an increase of $50 on your statement. And conversely, if you want to decrease your meal credits, it's the same concept. You go down by 100 credits, you'll save $50 on your statement. And so just a friendly reminder to everybody that it's that time. And this only happens twice a year as a reminder, in April and October. So try not to miss it. It's like open enrollment with health insurance. It's once it goes by, it's tough to get it going again. All right, now a personal appeal to all of you for the benefit of each other. And this one is about luggage carts. Those luggage carts travel to the craziest places on this campus, and they do not often find their ways back to the vestibules where they're supposed to be. We had a resident move in, and the poor residents, they went through such a hard time just trying to find a luggage cart. So my plea to all of you is please return the luggage carts. And if you continue to do that, they'll be there for you when you need them, and vice versa. But this is where it takes a community to make sure that, you know, it's not more challenging to live here than it absolutely needs to be. Okay, and then Josh just did a great update on Third Plus, and I just want to share with everybody, the team is working so incredibly hard. I mean, they are so passionate and so determined to do a wonderful job. And I just want everybody to know that, you know, I've heard some comments throughout the community of, you know, joking about food and things like that. And I guess it's just a little bit hurtful because the amount of effort that's going into this is exorbitant. And the people that are really putting their heads down and working their butts off, you know, it's impactful. So cheer us on as we make this the best place possible for you. It means a lot to us. And we want to make sure we deliver because we do this for love of the game. And that's why we do it. And we're going to continue to do it for that reason. So just a friendly reminder to everybody. And I will open up for questions, and I'm going to post the finance email in the chat right now for anybody who would like to email them. But again, as a reminder, this will be in my letter tomorrow. All right.
Hey, Goodman.
Now, a question about the meals, that if you're in hospice and you can't go down to meals and you can't eat any of the food, would we get $300 for the amount of credit on our bill?
Hi, Rona. Thanks for asking. The way it generally works is you can only bring your credits down to so much, and it depends which kind of style of housing you're in, whether it's an apartment, a cottage, or a villa. Now, the reality, when we think about food, you know, everybody thinks of food as actual dollar amounts, but the way it works is your monthly service fee is like a pie. And each piece of that pie goes towards supporting something at Newbridge. So for example, programming. Whether you realize it or not, you pay for programming, but you don't necessarily go to all the programs. The same goes for transportation. And the list goes on and on for every single department. So my advice to you would be to call to finance, see if you're at the lowest amount possible. And that's basically where it goes.
No, I need to, if somebody can't eat, it is deducted from the amount that we have on the bill. I mean, maybe it goes to other things, but it is a certain amount for food. If you go over it, you pay more. If you go under it, you lose it. So that's what my question is. Alan can't eat anything. There's no way he can eat anything. And so I would like to get a credit completely for him.
I'm so terribly sorry about all that. Why don't we talk about this outside of the chat?
I called you and
Yeah.
you never got back to me.
I did, and also finance did as well. And I followed up with them. So I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to talk to you outside of the chat. I mean, this is a very individualized case, and I don't want to take up the chat for that.
Okay, there was a question, and I'm not sure I understand it. What is the date to complete the spend down that in the chat?
So the date to not necessarily complete the spend down, but to sign up for the change in the amount of credits you would like is March 29th. So you have a few weeks.
Okay, any other questions? So I guess this really is a record. I counted when there were 107 plus another 7 people in pictures and an awful lot of black screens. So I think we probably are up around 120 or more. So we'll try to keep it short and brief and interesting and informative, more important. We'll see. Oh, there's a question from Carol Mullen before we close. Go ahead, Carol.
I'm on March 29th is almost upon us, but isn't it April where you can change it and October? You just said there was twice a year.
Twice a year.
And I
According
thought
to the memo I have in my hands, Carol.
Yeah,
it says
but it's
this-
kind of conflicting. It's because you said you can do it in April and October, and now you're saying March 29th.
Well,
So
let me
that-
tell you, I'll read you the exact verbiage that was sent to me.
Okay,
We ask that you submit any changes in writing to our billing team via email statements, inquiries at hsl.harvard.edu, and then the phone number. This opportunity typically only happens twice a year, April and October, so please take advantage of that now.
right.
So what it says is the effective date for any changes you request is April 1st.
Okay.
Please let us know by March.
Okay, so maybe that's why, okay, because I have, yeah, all right.
So
Okay.
the good news is the exact verbiage from finance is in my
Yeah.
letter tomorrow.
Okay,
So
All
what
right.
is written here is exactly what you're going to get.
okay. So it starts on April 1st. Now I understand. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No, no problem.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll see everybody next week, same time, same station.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Now,
Thank you.
see you
Bye-bye.
tonight.
Thank you.